Hello, people. Double Mandela. What I mean by double Mandela is possibly something that was changed and then changed back. And keep in mind on this video, in this particular thing, that I'm only a little bit better than 50-50 on it. So therefore you guys should just take it as a 50-50 thing. You know, it's not a video I'm going to put in my portfolio. But I find it pretty interesting. If it is true, or if it is the case, it's pretty big. And then I found, some other interesting stuff I'll throw in here for you, so it should be entertaining at the very least. Take it with a grain of salt. So, about a week ago, I received a message from my cosmic friend. Quite literally, his name is Cosmic Friend. And basically, he was thanking me for some of the work I was doing and some of the videos. And he wrote, there's a woman on YouTube from Norway named Sasha Eriksson who did a video on September 3rd. And she was mentioned that Saudi Arabia was an island. I'm like, oh. And then showed a map of it. And he gave me the time on that video and the name of the video. So I went and looked into the video, and I had written back at that time a week ago that, I thought it was just basically a lie, just some poison the well info here. So I had it at that, and then some things changed recently, so I decided to do this video. So I went and found her video named The Mandela Effect Part 1. And here's Sasha's YouTube here. She's great, actually. She's a very interesting person. She's not completely into the Mandela Effect video. She's done a handful. She's actually does healing type of stuff, alternative medicine, Reiki, and some other things. She's actually really interesting person. She's got very kind of intelligent and very logical thinker, but yet a healer. And into Reiki and stuff, so it's pretty original. She's from California. She's really good. You could check her out. But anyway, in her video here, I found the spot that my cosmic friend was referring to. I'll let you catch a bit.
It was smack dab in the middle of the Middle East, surrounded by desert. It was definitely not an island surrounded by a body of water.
And there's the quick little flash that she took a screenshot of to add to her video. And as she's mentioning, she doesn't remember Saudi Arabia being an island, nor do I. But then I noticed here, this is from a different video. So I checked out this person. He doesn't have it on his YouTube channel anymore, but I was able to search and find it on somebody else's. So here it is here. And I'll just go ahead and play just a little bit of this for you. Keep in mind, this is I don't know if it's this guy's video or I'm thinking he took bits from somebody else's video, but it's a bit of a produced video, and I'm always a little extra suspicious, in any information from produced videos or higher end videos. I'll let this roll here.
It's an island. When did they do this? I don't remember it being like that.
So there it is there, the original take of this. And, of course, I think right off the bat, maybe definitely could just be BS, it could be crap. Interesting. That is definitely Saudi Arabia posed as an island in the Middle East. And what I found interesting, or not interesting, what kind of threw me off here is right after this screenshot of a map, there's another screenshot of a map. And it shows Sri Lanka. It's this massive island. And when I seen this, I'm like, what the hell, And then in looking at it, I know this is a fraud. This is just crap. It's a cut and paste from one one zoom level and paste it on another. You can see here, I think it's a Sea of Bangle or Bangle Sea or something here, but you can see the last little bit of the writing that this cutout covered over. So it was crap, right? At least this screenshot is a crap. Is a screenshot beforehand crap? One may assume so. That's not always the case. A lot of deceptions are hidden in lies. A lot of lies have got a lot of truth around them. So, but initially, like I said, like a week ago, I was like, this is crap. You know, this is just whatever. Someone cut and paste on both of them. The Gulf of Oman is showing here. Very nicely shaped around this. I don't know. See, like I said, I'm still not really too sure on it. See, they have the Red Sea down here too. It still looks a little off to me. But anyhow, the interesting part that came up today, which led me back to this, is another video I was watching, Mandela video. And it was one with The Simpsons, and this came up. And I'm like, hold up. What is this? It sure the hell looks like an island in the Middle East. Wow, eh? So this definitely put me back on track as to looking into this a little more. And I gotta wonder, you know, is this... What was changed when? I know this video was a Mandela effect video. Someone had taken this bit from The Simpsons and it seems to show South America underneath North America. I would argue it doesn't really, because this globe is on an angle. And that would bring it, you know, I don't know. I think it's just all screwed anyhow. But it kind of shows it, but actually it doesn't. And really it's not right in either case, I don't think. But either way, this is most definitely an island-like shape in the Middle East, which does not exist by any means. This is, what the hell is this, right? So, it's possible that both are deceptions or a lie. It's possible that maybe something changed. This cartoon had changed to cover it, and then it changed back, and this didn't get changed back. So this is one of the main reasons why I'm bringing this video to you guys, is to keep your eyes open for any, you know, the older globes or whatever sort of residue images come up, and keep your eyes open for the Middle East and see if you see this. I would definitely love to know. But I went ahead and was like, wow. So I started looking into this a little more. And of course, you know me, I am going to jump right on Google Earth. And so what I'm looking for in this break goes for the island effect of Saudi Arabia, is cutting Saudi Arabia off at Jordan and Iraq, and Kuwait stays behind as well. So I started to look into this a little more, and basically what I was looking for, and I'll give you an example over here, because I had seen something, I probably should have brought this on other videos, where Spain, maybe a lot of you know about Spain, seems to be a lot closer than it used to be. And in the ocean floor between Africa and Spain, we have this ridge effect right here. And it's actually on a bit of an angle, which Spain would have to come down on, kind of on a spin or turn on an angle in order to make this connection between Spain being far out and have to come a little west, as well as the fact that Europe's like shrunk up. So would this angle would kind of fit properly for that. Unfortunately, I can't view right in here. They have this as the ocean surface. You can actually see boats. That would be the place to be looking. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking, you know, two places got shoved together, or in this case, let's say back together. I'd be looking for a double ridge effect, almost. And while I'm here, I'll point out, if there's any of you, maybe UFO people out there, or I guess I shouldn't contribute to that necessarily. Look at this in the water. I'm not sure what it is. It could just be a rock outcrop, but it's very straight, and it's very, it looks round, it looks tubular, and it's huge. If it is anything, it's like 2 kilometers long, like 2,000, what's that, 6,000 feet long. Huge, whatever this thing is. It's interesting. I gotta wonder. On top of which, I gotta wonder, like, if Spain got shoved together, and these are like the two edges kind of meeting up. Keep in mind, this is not the continental shelf, right? Because the continental shelf, you can see here, you can see here, it comes along. It's like another bump up. Here's a shelf here coming off. You know, it almost works for over here, but not really, because it dies down here first. It's really odd to me. You know, I'm not a complete geological expert. Actually, I'm not an expert by any means, but overall it doesn't make a great deal. It looks like shit was shoved together and it was, you know, causing some pushback, and you get these ridges form. But yeah, maybe if this is actually something, you know, something thing besides natural, and it could have been under the ground, it could have got dug up and shoved up and left on top when things got shoved back together. Kind of interesting in itself. But anyhow, that's kind of what I was keeping my eyes open for, expecting to find if I was to find anything. And so coming back to Saudi Arabia, I didn't find anything damning, like really, really good. Actually, I did find one damning thing I'll show you at the end, which was pretty cool, but I didn't, you know, it isn't a slam dunk by any means. So, in other words, a slam dunk would be like a nice big double ridge, go all the way into the ocean almost. And it'd be like almost impossible for man to have a bulldozer down there to create it, right? And it not work for any rocks or land formations that are already around. So I didn't get anything quite that damning. In general, what I did find is the situation seems very, very possible. I'll show you here. Okay, on this end, this is between Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. All over the place, and I'm sure there must be a decent reason to some degree. All over Saudi Arabia and in the desert areas. You get these lines, and trust me, I'm very, very critical, or, you know, I'm always trying to question everything, rule it out, whatever I can do to try to, you know, argue against anything that I think I may see, and it's almost looking different than it was before. Weird. Anyhow, this is a double ridge look here, right? It's not roads. This is all over, and it varies a little as how it looks throughout the border region. And it's not always right on the border region, and there's many of them that are not really on the border regions much at all, but kind of come from it. And they're not roads. There's always roads either parallel or in the vicinity, no tire tracks on it. We're down to basically the best zoom you usually get with Google Earth, so 20 meters here, just for like 1.5 inches or so. So this is looking about 10, 15 meters, 45, 50 feet across these two ridges. And you notice how two things all across, it's definitely man affected at the very least, if not man-made. There are bulldozer marks all throughout, so there's sand taken up and pushed up, either on the ridges or to create the ridges, one or the other. A lot of the ridges have like darkness, like there's rock or something involved in many places. And of course the funny thing is, right when it started to seem to get a little good here, I'm like, let's see here, right here, it just disappears. Google Earth doesn't have the zoom available. And I swear this stuff looks a little different every time I look at it. Weird. Anyhow, there's that part. So there's a bit around the east side of the Saudi border. And it is everywhere. So There's another area here. I had actually started over in this area because the Saudi border does this, it goes up and down here. There's kind of a bit of a zigzag going on. And in the map it shows more of something a little straighter. Either way, when you have zigzags, you know, natural land doesn't really do the points too much, so I figured I'd look for that. And the line here, actually, there's a line, but it comes, I probably won't find the spot right off. Oh, here it is here. So there's lines around, but they're not right on the border. Another thing about these markings, in almost all cases, is that they're new-ish, newer than a lot of other landmarks that are around, or any other marks in the sand. There's some places I can find where they managed to be kind of a little road made through. I'm gonna get a little closer here. This isn't a very good spot anyway. Most of all the areas, it's like two ridges. And I don't really understand, like, so they're not roads. They're not aqueducts, like there's no water involved. And they're not right on the border, but they could be used for border-like situation perhaps. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either that if you're taking a bulldozer and you're running her up on one side to create a ridge, and actually this one doesn't show the other side as much, definitely some of them do a lot. Actually this one has right on the same ridge, but then they left this ridge alone. Some of them, a lot of them, they were bulldozing up one side and then it'd be over and bulldozing up on the other side, leaving the middle with its gap and the flatness to it. They've been busy, at the very least. Whether they're just making... Oh, and then the other concept I thought of is really to kind of keep sand from blowing around, maybe. You know, if it was in areas where there's homes or towns, maybe it causes a little bit of a barrier. But as you can see in this area, like, that wouldn't be the case. There's just forever miles of this done, this bulldozing, which in itself I find a little bit suspicious. Just massive amount. I guess Saudis have money to throw around anyhow, but anyhow, things get a little more interesting when I come over to this area. So we have a little town here in Saudi Arabia. Let's see if I can get the name of it up for you in case you want to look into it. Keep in mind these circles everywhere. This is farming, some sort of farming kind of tactic they have for getting water around, I imagine. Tubarjal. Don't know what that spells, but there you go. So just west of there, I think it was like maybe 100 kilometers or so west. Zoom out a little here. It's so easy to get lost on Google Earth. You're zoomed way in, you think you're going somewhere and you're not. So, near the border, basically just west of that town, you go over to the border, you'll find the ridge. Same type of ridge I've been talking about. And here it is here. So we have a road on the right, the double ridge effect, and they bulldozed up both sides. In this region, I don't see a whole lot of rock. It does look a lot closer to sand. Don't know for sure, you know. But anyhow, up just a little ways. So I'll have to zoom out again, as I was just talking about. Here we go. So if you go over to the border, you'll find this 90 in the border. You go up until you find, basically, it's kind of like this big river-like looking area, which I don't get. I don't know how much of everything within Saudi Arabia is made from the sand blowing around and what is from water, and I don't really think they get that much water. Like, I mean, really, this whole region, I don't even really understand it. There's nothing, as far as I know, like water is what causes this effect. maybe it is the sand blowing around and the way the ridges and the hills work out for that. It's obviously very busy for that look. But anyhow, zooming back in to probably our second special spot here, our second last special spot. We have the same road. We have this double ridge going on still. There's a couple places where it's only a single ridge, but not for very long. And then there's also, especially along this strip, there's these, they go around these outcrops. But if you look at this outcrop, I'm calling it an outcrop, I assume there's like rock here and, you know, whatever, it's a little different. But if you look at this, you can see the two ridges on the inside. You can see it's very dark, like, leads me to believe it's like rock. And funny enough, we have these little white dots. I have no idea what they are. And me being me and watching so many conspiracy videos in my damn life, I go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Lucky number 13. The little white dots. I have no idea why or what the hell they are. But anyway, so this is a little closer, a little more what I was looking for, right? Like near the Spain region. Two ridges, rock, gap in the middle, like two things came together. And then I come over here, and here's more. And we got two ridges. You see, the thing is with a rock formation, from what I know, you don't really get this too easily. Like, how do you end up getting this? I have no idea. Again, ridge, and it's very dominant. Like, you know, as far as other things driving over, marking over it, that doesn't happen too much. It looks like rock. It's gray. Got this rock look to it. It doesn't really look like water had done this. I don't really think there's that much water in the region, honestly. And then this actually kind of stops and goes again for a good little ways. It almost has a little bit of a creepy effect look to it. And hopefully you guys, some of you can just check this out for yourself. I'm not too sure how good it's going to show up on the camera. And there was an area as well that had like this 90 to it. Just that much more. It didn't look like it could have been water or whatever. I don't think there's water. Like, I don't know, does Saudi Arabia get a little torrential rain once a year or something? I'm not sure. But anyhow, that's the ridges, and I find them very suspicious. And they are exactly the type of thing I was expecting to find, or was hoping to find. And then these outcrops, which are actually there's some more white dots on the other side. I have no idea what this is or what they're doing here. But they got it all kind of covered up around it. Freaking weird, honestly. You know, maybe I'm making something out of nothing there, but a little odd. So that's that, right? So I'm kind of bringing into question whether or not all this bulldozing they've done forever, you know, hundreds and hundreds of miles, are they covering something up? You know, are they kind of smoothing things out a little? Maybe. It's a little bit where my suspicions are leading me. So then, let's see here, find another spot I got. Not too far down the road. Another area not too far from the border, but it has the ridge going from this little, basically a little house area or something here. I don't know, very minimal amount. And you'll see, again, double ridge. Can't quite make out the double ridge on this side. And tire marks going everywhere except on the ridge. And you got tire marks, people driving alongside of it. Like I tried to break this stuff down a lot, trying to figure out whatever everything could be. You know, so you guys can probably guess I've been doing a number of hours of Google Earth, and I'm getting a little better. So the graphics change and get even a little better here, which is wonderful. Double ridge. This one doesn't look so marked on. As far as the bulldozers go, you can see somebody drove through. They created a spot to drive through there. But other than that, all the markings are very new. So before I get too much further, things get a little interesting. I want you to take a look at some of these outcrops, or these are like rock areas. There's actually quite a bit of it around. You know, there's basically some mountainous-like area, whatnot. And this looks pretty much, I don't know, besides the fact that there's some deep red to it, it looks pretty much normal. You got some outcrop coming, you got sand around, sand blows down, around, whatever. Kind of smooth on the drop off, and a nice change up into the sand, nice and smooth here. So when I was following this ridge up, I'm like, oh, well, the ridge got to a rock area and then it stopped, so I don't know. You know, they stopped making it, or whatever the case is, and then they went this way on it, which I gotta wonder, why didn't you just, if it was man-made only, why didn't they just turn, I don't know, or cut her over here? Anyhow, a little bit more of the bulldozer marks, and again, stops on this here rock, which is looking a little more odd. We get a little bit of a ridge here, not much, but a little bit. And so it's almost like it stopped because it got to this rock, carried on again, and then comes over. And what I find very interesting. This goes around this rock, and then I found this bugger right here. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Does that not look like something that belongs on Lord of the Rings? Like, what the fuck? What in heaven's name is that? I don't know. As you can see, the ridge, there's a ridge around it, like, that comes back up, and this is sunk into the ground. Like, it looks like something dropped out of freaking space, man. What the fuck? And this is not, I mean, some of you guys might think, oh, it's just a big round rock. You don't get big round rocks. There's almost no such thing as a big round rock. No rocks are round. The only round rocks are from water. That's it. Whether it was from the ocean, from a glacier, water erosion is how you get round rocks. They are, of course, all over the world, but the world has been covered by glaciers. What the hell is this doing in the middle of the desert? What the fuck is this? And why does it look like there's a slit in the top of it? Like, I don't know what this is. I can't even guess what in heaven's name this thing is. Freaking weird, man. Freaking weird. It looks a little bit like an eyeball, yeah. A very creepy one. I don't know. And then again, it looks kind of like an egg. Egg from space. I don't see any footprints or track marks anywhere. And yeah, it looks kind of like an eyeball. When I zoom out, I don't really see a face. Looks like almost another one over here, but this actually, this one over here looks a little bit more like an indent. And of course, it just looks like everything else. You know, it fits, it suits the area. Unlike this one, which I cannot find another example of. And it's not far away from this ridge. It doesn't mean it's of any relation. But, yeah. It's one there to write home about. I'd love to go see what this is. I think, you know, maybe I don't, but very, very suspicious as to what the hell this is. You know, maybe I'm wrong, you know, maybe there is some reason, some way that there could be a rock in this shape, and why on earth it looks dug out down around it, and then a ridge up around it like it fell out of fucking space. But, I don't know. It looks damning, man. It looks freaking weird, I'll tell you. But anyway, that's it, guys. Maybe Saudi Arabia was an island at one time. Maybe not. Maybe we have invaders from space. Maybe not. But anyhow, take care. Thanks for listening. Peace.